You are now listening to Akashic Knowledge for Spiritual Growth and Transformation. Your host along this journey, Pleiades.
Greetings, my ethereal friends. This is the Akashic Knowledge Podcast, episode 15, with your host, Pleiades. And as you can see, I've been meditating recently, good amount. I've actually become a Buddha now. On other news, I'm joined here, speaking on the healing vibrations of sound with my brother, Brad, from the band Annie in the Water. Can we get some noise from my brother, Brad? I'm gonna put in some applause right over here. And then, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, my sacred brother?
Yeah, so my name is Brad Hester. I play in a band called Annie in the Water. It's been since 2007 we've been playing. I also do some solo stuff. And you can find us at facebook.com/Annie in the Water, AnnieInTheWater.com. That's ANNIEINTHEWATER.com. Annie in the Water. And on Spotify, YouTube, all this stuff. So I definitely feel like that's kind of, it's opened me up to a lot of different experiences traveling around and playing music. Like, would you say the same when you like go to new places and play with new people?
Oh, most certainly. I would have to accredit the traveling that I've done largely to the transformation that I have experienced within myself.
Traveling, seeing like new environments, like feeling different pockets of energy in different places.
And feeling how energy interacts with its environment based upon certain factors of how it operates within the society that it's in. So basically feeling how different energies act in accordance with where they are in the world, geologically, socially, economically, politically, and just about in every single way that a civilization or a society operates is influenced upon its environment. So seeing how the energy acts in different environments leads to an enhanced perspective. All right, I'm gonna switch over to my Derek instead of Buddha self now. Once I
like how we get to travel through your heart. We're like zoomed in on your chest.
Absolutely. Feels good to be in a flesh body, being in an astral form, it's good too, don't get me wrong, but I like my flesh puppet. But yeah, man, we're just hopping on here talking a little bit about sound vibrations and how they heal because, as Brad was mentioning, he is a part of an extraordinary band, Annie in the Water, that, like he was saying, go to AnnieInTheWater.com. They're on like all streaming platforms. Definitely check out the music. It is some truly healing sound vibrations. And I myself, as well, create healing sound vibrations with strong intentions and emotion fueled behind the vibrations that we put out. It has a very potent opportunity to sink into one's being and allow for healing to take place. And one of the first things I feel like we could start bouncing ideas and information off each other about is right before we started recording this, we were talking and Brad was about to already jump down the rabbit hole about a recent experience. So if you want to go ahead, brother, and elaborate on what was coming out, for the people to receive, we could kind of start there and see where that lands us.
Yeah, it was very much so in relation to how music can be healing. And kind of like what I was saying earlier, like going into new places, new people, every place that you perform or you play or you're like offering the music, anywhere that you offer music, you're offering expression of yourself. And the space is its own energetic signature when you walk in. So like you get to feel kind of like how it's going, you know, it kind of, you feed off of other people. So like it depends on, like our first ever shows we did as a duo, as acoustic, was like restaurant music, lunchtime, where we knew we were more supplemental to the experience that people were like being there to experience. So in essence, we were supporting their experience eating the food, and like, you know, there's been different places all over the place that we've played that have been like that. And then there's like the shows where it's a performance, where it's a stage and people are there for the music, so you don't have to worry about anything but just like channeling that music. So it's like that in itself leads to this ability, this level of allowed expression. So like depending on the environment and the purpose for why I am there to give my offering of the music, which is, you know, the vibration I'm putting out using tools, or my voice, which is also kind of a tool that my body uses to express what I'm feeling and thinking. It's just really unique to see then, like, you know, healing music where it's meant to be customized to the person at which the energy is being amplified for transmutation of anything that's stored. Like, I think when I finally understood what it was like to release something, if you will, was literally
put
at
it out
that
into
first
the world.
UHA event that you were there.
Oh wow.
Like, it was, I had like release stuff, but there's things, and like it was
Talking about like emotionally, right? Like emotionally giving a release during a performance.
Yeah, exactly. So that I actually was like starting to talk about like personal things, holding on to, like, you know, it's anything that we all experience. We all have this stuff because it's a part of being a human, and receiving emotions, energy in motion. So we receive and transmute emotions anytime we see anybody or thing else with emotions. Because each thing is like each of us is like a song that's emitting our emotions, our vibrations, right? So like it was actually allowing the music in of everybody in the room that was singing, that my body was able to feel and release, like, and it was, you know, my friend Sally bent down and she's like, all you have to do is like allow the sound in, like allow. And to me, I had imagined that I was allowing the sound into every cell, and then kind of being in the awareness that we all have these energy centers in our body that allow us to receive this energy and feel it and think about it and love it and like do something in the physical with that. It's just like really interesting that it came down to that sound and it came back to me like that. And the release in music, release in shows, when you actually get to be yourself and you're expressing yourself to express yourself. That was another big lesson that came to me, and it opened up a whole new world at the time. Was not playing to make some, like, to specifically have my intention be, I'm gonna make you happy, because like, what am I doing for myself? What does that say about what I'm putting out? You know what? You know, can you relate to that a little bit too? Absolutely. Really just being mindful about how it is that we are interweaving our intentions with the energy exchange that we're that we're kind of inducing. You know, that's definitely very potent with music, just because of how powerful, you know, music is like a vortex of energy, right? But that's also with really like anything, like for example, like being within somebody's field, you know, being an empath, you could really feel somebody's feelings, sometimes so potently to the point that you can understand somebody's thoughts based upon the context of their feelings. But that really goes into the context of your intentions. What exactly are you entering their field with the intentions of? Is it for nosiness and curiosity to kind of like understand them just for your own personal gain, or are you intending to essentially uplift their frequency and give healing or
high vibrations or positive intentions onto them in some way, shape, or form, and having that be your exclusive intention. That goes with really any type of anything, any energy exchange. And when it's as potent as something like a musical exchange with a lot of emotion and energy within it, it really brings the intentions to the forefront and allows you to be very conscious of your intentions with how you go about that energy exchange. And about that energy release during that emotional release during performances, that's, I've only experienced it myself as well a handful of times or so. Most of the times that I've been able to truly like emotionally get into the feelings and story behind a lot of my music, a lot of them have been at the United Human Alliance retreats, at UHA retreats, all 3 of them, honestly, and obviously the source events that I do, and a couple other shows I have had the honor of having a good amount of chunk of time, because a big reason why I don't do it at all of them is because, it takes time, and I'm only given so much time for each set, that depending upon where it is that I end up, having a microphone in front of an audience. But I've had it a couple other times. But it is a very, very potent experience where the crowd or the people receiving the expression is feeling some form of recognition with the emotion that they're being expressed, because kind of like you were saying, everyone in some way, shape, or form recognizes emotion, because just about everyone has been through some spectrum of every general emotion, just because emotions are just waves, and we all go through waves. We all normally hit the same points in waves. Obviously, the intensity and things of that nature differ and are unique for everyone, but just about everyone can really can tune into genuine emotion. And when you can infuse sound with emotion like that, that's when you even deeper allow people to connect with the sound, right? So when you're connecting with the song, you're connecting with the sound, and the sound is a vibrational vortex. So when you emotionally are connected with the vibrational vortex, that means that you're kind of like in the flow for where manifestation can become very, not only possible, but accessible. When you're in you ever listen to like some really good music or go to a show and experience some really powerful tunes of whatever genre, and you get like lit up with this energy, this inspired like type energy, you know what I'm saying? You're just all hyped up, you're amped up, you feel that energy. That's that manifesting creative energy, like it could even be like a chill song, it doesn't have to be like high tempo, nothing like that. It could just be like a chill song, but if that emotion is there, if that passion is there, that source, right, God, universe energy, that right tone, exactly, people are just gonna enter into that frequency, man.
You know why I think that that's the case?
Why?
And what I'm referring to as that being the case is it not needing to be any sort of like intensity or loudness or quietness. It could just be the sound that resonates with you that allows you to open up the next door of feeling. And like the really interesting thing that I think applies to that, and I think that's kind of like what it's something that I think resonated with me based off of what you said, basically. And what I think really applies to that, interestingly, is that so my friend Haley Jane said to me a couple of years ago that the timbre and the quality of the tone, like the sound, is the soul, and that the lyrics are the mind of a piece of music. And I resonated with that so much because the lyrics are really like, what are you saying? And then the tone is like, what are you feeling? Not that they can't either both be the same thing or the other, not that, because you can still say something with your tone, and you can also still say something like, the other way around with lyrics. You can still, feel something with lyrics. But kind of putting it in that perspective of like, you really get thoughts sparked by what somebody might be saying verbally. But then the feeling, the tone, there could be a song completely without lyrics, and then you have to kind of create your own meaning or figure out what it's saying with just the sound. And then what is the sound? It's literally what's emanating from whatever tools that the creator is using. Like me being the creator of like a song on guitar or a singing bowl, or like, for example, like just with this kalimba. So like my body itself couldn't produce this tone, but I could use it to put something through, and I knew I was gonna play bum 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 bum. Right? So once you get in touch with like an instrument, and then you get to understand, you're listening for what you're playing and you're reacting for what you're playing instead of just like playing a song. There was a few years there right when I was starting out where I just remember like being in the space of like, I knew how to play the song, but I wasn't quite in tune with what exactly I was playing, so it kind of like, I didn't jump right to like being able to just play anything. And then when I finally allowed that to click in, it's like paying literally physical attention to where I'm playing at on the neck, tied my body in with the instrument so much more, where it then became just second nature. And I knew I was going to play like, and I knew that that's what I was going to do as I was doing it, kind of thing. Or like I could sing exactly as I was playing. And that's very healing in itself, like being in tune with one of your songs, I'm sure, like feeling music that you created, knowing that you are expressing yourself, right? Like you're pretty much in tune with that stuff, I feel.
Absolutely, man. When you can just like kind of have, like, especially once you create a song and you've just like ingrained the vibration of the song into your being, you can summon it at will at any moment, like any sound, any lyric, any feeling, any whatever, to just about all of my songs. I can just kind of like get from the filing cabinet of my consciousness and just like put it in the record player of like my spirit, and then I can just like instantly like become the song. And just like, sometimes I'll just be like doing whatever in my normal life, and then like a whole like something will trigger a lyric from a song of mine, or even a song that I'm very familiar with that I didn't necessarily create myself in this body, but it's something that I'm just very familiar with sound wise. It'll just like one lyric will be triggered, and then like the whole song will start playing in my head from that point on, and then I'm just like listening to the song and just kind of like bumping to it, and it really is like a vortex. It really is like a vortex. And I very much relate with what you were saying about like when you're playing something and you just kind of like have within your vibrational being, you just kind of know you're gonna be like like you just like kind of know. It's kind of like when you necessarily manifest and visualize, you're like, yo, this is what I'm manifesting and this is what I'm visualizing. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I just know that I'm gonna do it, type of thing. And then you just kind of like jump into it, and you have that within your being. You know that you're able to produce sound, you know that you can produce it with your voice, so you know that you could replicate it somehow with an extension of yourself, which is the instrument. Essentially, you use the instrument, become in resonance with the instrument so that it can become an extension of you rather than it being outside of you and you're playing something outside of you. You're becoming one with something and it's becoming an extension of you, so you can fully express yourself with it just like you would any other part of your body that can produce sound, like your voice. So I really like that you brought that into the conversation, that just like kind of like trusting, like, you know, I'm able to do this, like, and then you just kind of do it. It's the confidence. That's with everything. That's with everything. Just having the confidence and understanding and your ability to orchestrate something that also I feel like adds to the potency of the medicine. You know, there's a lot of different medicines and all of them have different potencies, so to speak. And a really potent, in the terms of sound vibration, musical medicine, is one that is confidently executed. You know, it's not somebody who has like an extreme high caliber of skill or something necessarily. It's just truly someone being with the medicine that they're expressing and knowing that they got the medicine and knowing how to use that and like consciously be with that and be confident and channel willpower accordingly, because confidence really brings a lot of willpower, and that's like the power of the energy exchange. So yeah, definitely something that I want to hop into in terms of, you know, us talking about the potential healing power of sound, which definitely comes in good tangent with what you were saying before about allowing the sound to enter into your cells, essentially. And that is toning. You know, the potency and power of toning, essentially choosing specific frequencies to chant through your voice and fill up and reverberate your entire body to a specified tone that you've created, one that's either of part of a scale that you're following, or like we've been kind of talking about, one that just feels good. You know, you're just letting your body freely express itself without needing to to label what comes out. And then that kind of allows for the expression of your soul vocally to just choose a tone and then you become it. So I definitely want to get your thoughts and your perspectives on toning, because you, my friend, have some experience in that field.
Definitely. I was just thinking, realizing the definition of the word toning, to me, what it means is just like you're being a tone.
Yo,
Just like you said, so you're using your whole body, you're just being a tone.
That's literally what it is, in the best wording.
Yeah, so if I'm putting, let's go with the... Can you hear that all right?
Yeah, we can. And for those that are listening and think that that sounds like a familiar instrument, it sounds a lot like a didgeridoo, just showing that it's an extension of the voice.
Going to a high D now. I'll fit one more in there real quick, going up a little bit higher. So I forget the guy's name, but there's a guy that was mentioned in a TED talk that will go up to a glass and flick it so he can hear what its resonant frequency is, and then if he focuses on that frequency, he can break it. So like matching what it naturally is resonating at.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going up to a singing bowl and just going like, and then being able to hear like the resonance of it and then match that same resonance. And then with the case of a glass, you know, its structural integrity isn't, you know, as solid. I would have to assume as that. And then once you match the frequency, you would be able to break it. That's pretty scientifically dope, quite frankly.
Interesting stuff.
It truly is. It's
there. Yeah.
For those receiving that, you know, like all the everything that we could ever talk about was right there. You know, it was you fully experienced. Wait, say that one more time, brother.
I was just saying, I feel like everyone has that voice too. It's like when you do think about, like, you have, like, even, let's take a step back to kindergarten. When you got a whole group of kids singing like a farm song, have you ever noticed anybody being off, like really badly off? Not really, right? Because kids are like, they're just like singing all together, right? And then we grow up and we have like these things get in our way of our lens, and like some people actually have some stories where they think they can't sing because one person in their life has said that to them.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of it is just like recognizing that the only reason why somebody seems really good at singing is because they've used their voice a sufficient amount to like remind your vocal cords what they're capable of. It's really what it is. You're able to, like you said, we're born being able to sing. You know, I truly feel like I truly feel as well that there's no kid that really just can't like sing, especially in tangent with a whole bunch of other children. It's a lot of not using the voice in that way because of certain conditionings. I feel like, quite frankly, like everyone in their truest being enjoys singing. You know, that might be a really bold statement, but like I truly feel like the soul just enjoys singing. That's just a belief of mine from what my intuition tells me. And that being said, when you kind of like, if a kid is just out in a Walmart or grocery store with their parent and they just start singing like, oh, whoa, 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 like just start absolutely expressing themselves, 9 times out of 10, the parent is gonna be like, yo, could you like either turn it down or not do that at all? Come on, son or daughter, whatever. And that's the conditioning. And then people who come back to their voice and come back into that expression, then they'll kind of realize like, oh, I have a voice, oh, look at me, I must have this talent. But that's really they're coming back to their natural state. Like all of us have that talent, all of us have that capability, because it's just our birth state, it's our natural state. And quite frankly, I feel like this is the case with a lot of different endeavors, namely of which we're speaking on behalf this one.
Yeah, like basically anything in life has the same potential. If you call it what it is, it's a thing that we can do, and then things keep us from doing it. Unless we go, wait, no, I can do this.
Yeah, because of an actual want, not motivation outside being like, do this, like an internal desire, like, yo, I fucking love singing, I want to fucking sing, and I'm gonna sing, like an internal want.
Coming full circle is, I want to relate it to, in a way, it's this Eckhart Tolle, your purposes approach, where he's presented that you have a primary purpose and a secondary purpose. And what I understand from what I think he was expressing, to give me a chance to think about, was that your primary purpose is to be wherever you are, doing whatever you're doing, with whoever you're doing it with. And your secondary purpose is goal-oriented. What is this version of me meant to do here? And what am I going to work toward? So there's one that you're always succeeding at. No matter what you're doing, you're always 100% fulfilling your primary purpose. All the way. Secondary purpose, things can take us, things can put us astray, things that happen, like there's a different path toward that second purpose. Whereas then, if I relate that then back to performing, is expressing myself to express myself, or expressing myself to impress somebody, or to make somebody feel good, or to make somebody, I can always be 100% all the way successful at expressing myself to express myself. And no matter how well I express myself and how good I feel at how, it's cool to set an intention to give somebody an opportunity to feel good or to dance around. Also, there's a comedian named Pete Holmes who he kind of talks about, when he first started being a comedian, he's like, I need to go get laughs. I need to go get laughs. And then he changed it to give somebody an opportunity to laugh. And he said that changed his whole perspective. So to relate that back to me expressing myself to express myself, there could always be somebody who isn't impressed or isn't receptive and wasn't happy. So if I put my focus for me on expressing myself, then I can always feel like I've done that. And then outside of that, it's like a secondary expression, is to relate it back to Eckhart Tolle's kind of approach. My secondary expression is I want to give somebody an opportunity to be happy and to dance. Then at least there's that direction there, but it all still comes back to me. And then that could be the metric by which you define your success, is, because success is defined so many different ways by so many people. What's the metric? For me, the metric would be, looking at, did I express myself to express myself? Yes. Do I think I at least did a good job of giving somebody an opportunity to be happy? Then that's more or less in my control than, my whole happiness being based off of whether or not somebody was happy for what I did or whatever.
And I feel like
a lot of that came from experience.
No, go ahead, brother. My bad.
There's one particular situation that made me realize I was just playing at a show at a gig, and somebody was looking at looking at me weird, and I thought they weren't having a good time. And it got in my head for a second, and I, played through it because that's what you do. And then set break came, and it was the first person that came up and was like, "Dude, I'm having like a great time. You guys sound awesome." This was like 8 years ago, but like
that's how much it stuck with you.
Also, that like it felt like they weren't having a good time because of what my thoughts were, but they were having a good time. So what does anywhere but in here matter toward how I should feel? Like, obviously everywhere matters because like that's the shared energy that we're giving off and receiving, and like that matters wholeheartedly to me, every bit of the space that I enter when we're playing.
And I definitely feel as if the bridging of the paradox, so to speak, with that is like when you only really focus upon your internal world, and like you said, kind of, if regardless of what you were, if you thought that they were not having a good time but they actually were, you're like, what really matters outside other than inside at the end of the day? Because when you do dedicate that energy towards internally following that guidance and being in touch with the internal world, that's what paradoxically is going to then branch off into the outside world to what I feel like everyone and everything's highest alignment. When you truly project that awareness and energy inward first, it's going to then ripple out. So what you do best for yourself is going to be what you do best for everyone and everything else, when you truly look at it. Although it might not always be as black and white as like that example right there. It might be a lot more challenging for certain situations to be met with that perspective. Like for example, if somebody is coming up to you and kind of like wanting energy from you that you might not necessarily have to give at that exact moment or something like that, and you have to make that decision to go within yourself to then emanate what's best onto others, it might be a little bit more challenging in those situations. And that's a lot of what we're here to experience, and that's why a lot of people are being shown a lot of patterns and things of this nature that are being shown to release. These patterns aren't obstacles, they're opportunities to like truly act in alignment with the perspective that you claim to have. Having a perspective intellectually and mentally is nice, but acting on it is what's going to truly bring manifestations of those vibrations into your vortex, essentially. Quite frankly, I don't even remember what got me onto that tangent, but I was just kind of rocking with it.
Dude, I have a lyric for that. The difference between perception and character rides on intention. Sitting here with an open heart, focused on the art. And if the storm came, the river banks will disappear under swells of doubt. In the past, it's what I figured out. You know what I mean?
I love that, man.
Perception and character. Your character is what you're, like you just said, your intentions are your character as long as your actions match the intentions.
Yep. So you're saying your intentions match your character when...
Yeah, this is interesting. This is I'm in like a thought bubble for a second. How do you feel about it? Keep going.
What was the original sentence that you said?
The difference between perception and character rides on intention. So like this came from a situation of knowing that there was gossip behind my back.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Trying to figure out how I feel about it, given what I actually feel, what my intentions were. And then I just go, well, my character's fine because I know my intentions. And the perception of people based off of gossip is what it is, and that doesn't affect my character. So, and in the end, truth wins. Truth and pure song is what is most remembered because the energy signature of the true song, of me having the intentions and feeling like I'm acting within those intentions.
And it's always the most peaceful outcome as well, because when you can truly have that awareness in, like, say, a situation like that, where you know within your heart and your soul their intentions were completely pure, but also simultaneously there's people gossiping, saying things that are, you know, about perception, you know, about really based off of people's perspectives without having the full vantage point of truth that, you know, you really had behind your intentions. So being able to know that sovereignty within yourself, you don't even have to really waste any breath, like, you know, being like, that's not me, that's, you know, like trying to like defend yourself. You could just like speak your truth, and then, like, you know, it can be rough doing this sometimes, but this is what the human experience is. It's just speaking the truth and then trusting in that and not forcing anything down anyone's throat who chooses to go down the path of perceiving through perception, you know, of wanting to like live in that gossip mentality, trying to like take someone who's like in that perception, that limited vantage point of, you know, of the telephone game, these types of like thought forms and belief systems, someone who wants to operate within that state of being, for you to go up to them and be like, this is the truth, this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter how pure you are sometimes. If they're not in a state to receive it, it's a brick wall. So recognizing where that, you know, where that line is, and not really wasting your breath because you feel that you need to prove anything to anyone, because you don't have to prove anything to anyone, because you know that your intentions are pure. You know that, like, between you and the universe, you're straight. You know, no matter what people say, no matter what people think, no matter what people feel, you can always you can go to sleep at night just being like, yo, you know, universe, I know, you know, like, we straight. And that's a really liberating feeling that I feel like a lot of people are eluded from because of their interwovenness with other people's thoughts about them. You know, people care about what other people think about them. It's a conditioning of like almost all people, you know, in the world, in the generation that we are speaking on behalf of, quite frankly. So being able to like watch that transition is very potent, very powerful. And yeah, I really like that you had that in a song lyric, man, because it really much is the judge of character. I completely agree with that. Like, you know your character based upon your intentions rather than what people see you as. It's like, you know, you can have a person walking down the street wearing rags and like just like hardly wearing any type of clothes with any brand name or whatever, and people in society may view them as like a, you know, oh, that person's like a bum, that person's like a whatever, just put all these types of labels of like disapproval on them or whatever. That person might go on to change the world, you know what I'm saying? Everyone might be like writing newspaper articles about them and things like that. You know, that's a very human example, but that's just like, you know, to get the point across, like, going against perception is a very limited state of operation, and being open to truly understanding truth, people's truth and their sovereign intention behind things and your sovereign intention behind things, operating from that vantage point. And when people in situations come up to you, rather than viewing things from the perspective of perception, looking for people's truth, looking to go beyond the distortion of the telephone game to like look at the root of something with someone or something and be open to receiving the truth. The intention is where you're gonna, receive the full fruits of it.
And the reflection of so many different truths existing simultaneously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and then it's like, well, how do you define truth? Well, that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I wanted to offer a song if you're willing to receive.
Of course. Of course.
We can actually like maybe observe the tuning of the guitar as well, just to make sure. I think what's a really interesting thing that was happening was, one of the things that I was looking into is how the tuning works. If you have two side by side and you ring one, and you're only striking the one, the other one will sympathetically receive the tone and vibrate with it. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm going to put the strings near the microphone, but when I was talking to you, my guitar strings on their own selves started to vibrate. So it's like very, very, very slight. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it might be on this recording that I could turn up and send to you. It's got like a tiny bit of like a harmonic resonance to it. But I can really hear clearly because I'm in Chris's closet. So
yeah, I was able to pick up on a little tone. Like it was like a higher pitched like tone that I was able to pick up
very,
on.
Very small resonance.
It was very subtle, but I don't know if it'll come up on the like recording for when I post this. Someone with a really good ear will probably be able to hear it. I might be able to tune it up.
So this song was it's more one of those chill ones. And then again, like we were saying, like your environment can actually give you the answer or the hint to what people are willing to receive. So if I'm not like kind of doing like acoustic music, perfect vibe. If people are looking to like rage, like with a band, probably not the right vibe for that. But this right here, yeah. So if you're willing, ready? You know how soothing it is to your soul. It beats the drum in your ear. It reaches the belly of your heart. It warms your blood. Nothing else quite like that here. It takes no time at all. It takes no time at all. Why is it that death we fear, but we'll take our own lives? Sometimes we'll take our own lives. I wanna feel it all, 'cause it makes up my love. As long as someone loves me, then that's enough for me to live. The music, it's got a beat, and your heart, the rhythm it keeps, fast when it's racing and slow when it's mellow. But like Bradley always says, as long as what we got, remember that. And as long as I am here, I'll hold this time in my pocket. Oh, never to forget. When I wake up and the sun is in my face, I know I'm glad to be in this place. I'm glad to be in this place, 'cause I wanna feel it all, 'cause it makes up my love. As long as someone loves me, then that's enough for me to live. Myself, I will always be loved. If I love myself, I will always be loved. It's all okay anyway. If I love myself, I will always be loved. And the sun is in my face, and I'm glad to be in this space. I'm glad to be in this space, 'cause I wanna feel it all, 'cause it makes up my love. And as long as someone loves me, then that's enough for me to live. And I am someone, I am someone, I am someone. And I am someone, I am someone, I am someone. And I love that I got my own back every day and every night and every morning when I wake. I can feel. We're all somebody, bro. If we love ourselves, we always got a reason to move forward. Always got a reason to go. I think one of the coolest things that came from walking around in Chris's yard that I was just getting ready to tell you, and then we're like, wait, we'll save it. I'm so glad I did, because I couldn't wait to tell you this whole time. There's graves back there that they had some local natives come in and pretty much confirm for them that there's multiple grave sites right along the water, and one of which is a medicine woman. And we just were out there before I came in here to start this with you, offering a porcupine needle, a hawk's feather, a big quartz crystal that Chris picked up today, a little fluorite crystal, and then we offered some toning. And visually, I feel like music creates visions in my mind. And then we had some moments out there offering thanks, and one of the things that we came to the realization of was that she was a medicine woman who offered opportunities for other people to laugh and dance and sing. And to be a medicine person, you have to be in touch with your heart, because that's the ultimate medicine. And I feel like in expressing music, I'm always there. What was really interesting is Chris starts to go, and she had children, and just as he said children, Nico goes, "Mom!" from the porch, like back into the woods. Literally in that moment.
Wow.
After we were like knowing that people danced and sang with this woman, like music, and have you ever seen the thing with like the 100 metronomes or whatever? You know those like metronomes that are tabletop metronomes?
Yeah.
They say like this, and you hit them, and they're. If you have a group of them, and what they're sitting on allows the vibrations to be transmitted, then you can start them all at different times.
And they'll all sync up, and they'll find a. Yeah, I do know about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's like that. Already there's like an interaction of sound, and then you have Dr. Joe Dispenza talking about the unified field at which we can tap into at any point. And I've definitely experienced this field myself firsthand.
I feel like everyone has in some way, shape, or form, and they just haven't been aware of it. It's just a matter of people's perspective and their sensitivity to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but continue.
For me, like music as healing is when it's had the biggest impact for me, is when it instantaneously I feel it here, and then I feel it in everybody else as well. And when it's elated like that, or if there's just a group of people that are there for the same vibe, that can amplify that vibe. You know, different genres of music can supply these different things for you. And I feel like you get to just sit in the bath of vibration. So it's like, and then you have heart math as well, that they've measured the heart outside its body, and then they've offered these observable information that can lead you to the conclusion that when the heart is happy and moving in a positive direction, it's extended outside the body, and when it's in fear or doubt or shame, it is not. Like it's not as strong in the field.
You can't measure it as far.
What's that?
You essentially can't measure it as far, you're saying, right? Once you're in a lower vibrating emotional state, your auric field from your heart isn't as far reaching as when you're in a positive feeling state. You're emitting a much stronger field. And that's
right.
That emotional state that we're experiencing is also being emanated so far as to, observably, they can see it around 30 feet from the body, things of this nature. But quite frankly, it's infinite. It's light. It's like an infinite light that you are emanating onto the world. So if you're in a high vibrating state, you are vibrating this light out into the planets, and that's out into the stars, things of this nature, and that's being reflected back onto the earth, because a lot of what we experience on the earth is a reflection of the energy from the stars. Astrologically, that's where a lot of karma comes into, what karma even is our experience of energy that is being reflected from the astrological celestial energies of our sky. Stars, planets, star systems, things of that nature. And that gets reflected onto the animal and plant life. So we're affecting the galaxy at large, even beyond that. We're interstellar space, and we're also in turn affecting life on Earth, all as a byproduct of our emotional state. When we're in a high vibrating emotional state, we're emanating that much energy out into the cosmos that's being reflected back onto the earth and affecting the earth. And when we're not in that state, we're not really sending that energy out very far at all. because our field is very weak, like you were saying, from these studies. And it's really cool. I really love when the studies catch up to like the truth, and you're able to like actually like refer to science as it was originally intended to be, like confirmation of deeper truths, which is what science originally was before they took away the spiritual aspects. Like when science was actually science back in the days of alchemy and things of this nature, where they took the metaphysical phenomenon into account and they put those into the equation. But when they stripped the physical world of all of, when they stripped reality of the metaphysical or the spiritual phenomenon and made science just about the physical, that's when they strayed away from the truth. But now it's coming full circle, as I'm sure you're aware, with things like quantum physics, subatomic physics. They're seeing things very, very strange, like the quantum entanglement, quantum superposition, the wave particle duality, things of this nature. They have no choice but to understand that reality is more than just matter. And this is where science is starting to be really cool. It's really cool that we can casually talk about, legitimate studies such as this that confirm deeper truths. But go ahead.
Definitely. I was going to say there's two things that actually branch off of that too. Is basically another thing that Heart Math has shown, and you can go to heartmath.org. Heart Math is one word. Heart, H-E-R-T, math, M-A-T-H.org. And then there's a lot of information that they have there. They've been doing it for over 2 decades, so that's like really exciting that that's been going on. But one of the things that has come into my awareness because of what I've learned from them is that when we are in that elated state and we know our heart is extended further, then that almost is your your intentions. Your energy signature of your intentions extend outside of your body. That's kind of my understanding of it. But because they've shown that we've influenced plants and other people just by being in their space. Dude, and that is what I wish I looked up. Was there was a study, I can't remember the guy's name, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was gonna set this plant on fire to study what vibrations came off of it. And when he walked in the room and he was kind of doing his stuff, and he goes, all right, well, it's time to start. Just by him thinking about setting it on fire, it started to go crazy. When the plant knew that that's what it was doing, that's what was going to happen. And I can't remember where I found this information, so I would have to go look it up and send it to you or something.
Yeah, what you can do is send it to me, and I could put it in the description of this on YouTube, which is where most people are probably going to receive this. And also, I think on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that other stuff, I think I could put it in the description as well. So just, send me the link to those things. Yeah, but no, that's some true stuff. Plants are able to pick up on your intentions and your emotions. If you're like, yo, I'm about to burn this plant, the plant's like, bitch, you about to do what? It's gonna get all scared.
The plant wave, I did order one, and I think I'm supposed to receive it in the next month. I ordered it 6 months ago, and
the what?
Came out with a new product, and it's
You said plant wave?
Your phone. Plant wave, yeah. So it's these electrodes that you can put on anything living. Plants.
Oh wow!
So it's you put these 2 electrodes on a plant, and then it's sending an electrical signal that then their app is it's like a music studio that will use the plant's vibration to create music through the software that they have. So it's you can get the tones from the actual plant into your recording stuff. So best believe we're gonna work on a song that's got that in there.
Bro, you just actually blew my shit. That's insane. Yeah, that's so crazy powerful.
Let me see if I can get the website right, the proper website.
Bro, I'm ready to sample that. I'm ready to make a beat with that. I'm ready to create a whole orchestra of plant frequencies. We can just go into a garden with electrodes and have a ball, bro.
Plant wave. So get plantwave.com.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty.
wave.com.
Yep, plantwave.com. Pretty simple to remember. Pretty sure anyone could just look it right up. That's very powerful. I'm really glad you shared that, not just with me, but with everyone, you know, receiving this podcast transmission. Now everyone could be, you know, this is where technology's going, y'all, you know, and this is just what's public. You know, a lot's coming out. There's a lot out there to come out, and now, you know, it's happening at a quicker and quicker rate. So that's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, I'm so grateful about all of that.
To understand, you know, like, just like we were saying with instruments as being, when you can recognize the unity within yourself and the instrument, you can see and experience the instrument as an extension of yourself, right? That's essentially what we can recognize technology as well. But however, it is also a detached relationship when you're truly at one with the interaction. So, like, for example, you're not attached to an instrument when you're using it as an extension of you. Likewise, it wouldn't make very much sense to, or end very well, to be attached to a technological extension of yourself. But, like, for example, like cell phones, being able to even call someone, that's really just an extension of our telepathy. I mean, hello, telecommunication, telephone, telepathy, it's in the name, you know, like these are all the telecommunication through cell phones is essentially like guiding us towards what it's like to have telepathy. Eventually you just take out the middleman. You're just like, yo, Brad, coming over at 6, you know, and then you could just kind of like send it out, and then you're just walking by, you're like, oh, yeah, I'll be there, you know, I'll probably be there around 6:15, but I'll be there. And then I'm like, all right, message received.
You know, it's been an actual practice lately too, because of so many natural telepathic situations. It's just like trying to, like, so for example, let's just try it right now.
Oh, I got caught in a laugh. Feeling like a blue. I was feeling blue.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways that I communicated that. One was I got really close to the lens. My eyes are blue. I was thinking about the ocean. I was thinking about water. I was thinking about the sky.
You know what's really funny was like how that actually like word for word what my experience was with that just now was that at first, you know, to be honest, I saw you got up close and then you made me laugh, and then, like, you know, because I wasn't expecting that, and then like I just closed my eyes and went within to feel it. And then at first I was feeling like purple, but that's just normally when I go within. I normally do third eye gazing, like, you know, I vibrate around that. I see that a lot. So like I realized that like what I was seeing was probably like not what you were sending. So then like I started to just kind of like see the purple fade, and then I was just kind of like in this still point, and then all of a sudden I just like felt like a blue, you know, my eyes are closed and everything just like burst out, and I was just like, yeah, it's blue. Like, you know, that happens a good amount of times in terms of like auras really and stuff like that. Yeah. It's powerful, man. It's powerful. There's no words for it. everyone watching this, have someone, like, if you got a friend or a family member or a homie, whatever, that is open to stuff like this, like you are, yo, just be like, yo, you trying to try some telepathy? What's the worst thing that happens? Y'all get a good laugh out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no judgment. There's just
Telepathy practice.
exactly, just full on accountability practice. You have to believe you can do it. That's all it is. You have to just believe it. You have to believe that this is something that's not hard to do. It's our natural ability. It's our natural ability. It's unnatural that we're not doing it all the time. When you truly understand that, you know.
Yeah, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Like what do they say about that little train? When I was like a very young child, there was the little train that could, or something like that. The little blue engine that could. He was basically like, when he told himself when he told himself he couldn't go up something, he was going up a hill or something like that. It was like really hard for him. When he told himself he couldn't. But when he told himself he could, and he did. And it's that simple.
Yeah.
The little train that could.
Dude, yeah. the reason why we like started practicing that was because so many like unfakeable things were happening. Where me and a lot of my close chosen family or my friends, we'd be saying the same thing at the same time, or like thinking, or just like you were like, yo, I'm gonna give him a call real quick, and then I buzzed right in before you called me. Or like just so inexplicable the amount of things that have been happening.
When you experience it, it's not like it just becomes okay. This is just an element of human experience now. Is really what you come to terms with. Like, this is just what life now has accessible within it, is these types of experiences. And just like if you get a new cell phone or something like that, you're like, holy shit, this is a feature? This is so cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, your life got an upgrade instead of your phone getting an update. Exactly, yo.
There's some features to this life.
Yo, that's an understatement. Oh,
I dropped my crystal right in my singing bowl.
wow.
Can you hear it?
I still hear it reverberating. It was just creating a sacred tone. Whew. Man.
I think that was the crystal tones talking about music again. But the catch was we were talking about music the whole time.
Absolutely. Everything that we're talking about pertains to sound vibrations and healing with music.
Yeah, because thoughts are waves, right?
Thoughts are vibrations.
Thoughts are vibrations, so they're putting out it's just a song that we can't necessarily hear. I don't know if this is true for anybody else, but like, you know when you turn on like an old TV and like you get that electric that comes into the room? It's like really, really
the staticky
quiet. Static.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
My own existence. It's just always just like this. It's like just a presence. It's not loud or annoying or painful or anything. It's just, it's what I exist at. I feel like I can actually hear. And it's been like the more, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's more like evidence that I am quite literally like a song.
Bro, you know what's really wild about you mentioning that specifically was that when ever since I was probably like 5 or something, ever since like I knew what a TV was, or maybe like 4 or something, like, you know, like ever since when I understood what a TV was, you know, like those big box before the plasma and flat screens and stuff, like the big box TV with the static when you turn it on and stuff, like it doesn't matter where I would be at random moments where there's no TV. I'd be walking down the street. I would be like sometimes in a building where there were TV, but there weren't TVs being turned on. or in a building without TVs or whatever, or sometimes just in nature, sometimes in a car ride, don't matter. I'd be like anywhere, and then all of a sudden randomly I would hear what I thought to be and really feel rather than hear, but also hear a TV turning on, but there would be no TV around. I would always hear it, and then I'd be like, it's that again. Like I wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't like tell my parent or whoever I was around. I would want to find the TV to tell them, because I know that they would just be like, I don't hear it or whatever. I was like always looking for it, but I definitely feel as if that was us hearing our true nature and just like tuning into that frequency. Like you said, it's not like an annoyance. It's just kind of like a tunnel of vibration that you can align with or not. And it's some trippy stuff, man. It's some trippy stuff, man. We literally are beings of vibration. And that's one of the main reasons why sound vibration is so powerful, or just any vibration period is so powerful, is because everything is vibration, reverberating, oscillating waves is really all anything is, at different tempos, different times, and things of this nature. So when you align with certain sound vibrations, like that which Brad is about to bless us with right now, you become the sound vibration and you alter your state of being, because you are vibration. Vibration, which is sound, is you in one of your purest forms. So it directly influences your state of being, because it is what we are. And there's only so much words can do. Experience is probably the best way to do it. So
So if I go slower and lighter, you can actually feel the sound waves being longer. And if I speed up and increase my friction, Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. The dynamics that we experience from a full expression of sound allows us to experience the stillness within both polarities. And experiencing the lower spectrum and then the higher spectrums of the dynamics allows us to find a balance between both that we then ride like a binaural beat. Brother, I feel as if all of the lessons to be taught about sound vibrations are within what you just shared with us, and within entrancing yourself with sound. And the words are fun to dance with. The words are fun to dance with, but at the end of the day, experiencing sound for yourself, receiving it, and also expressing it, hearing somebody else sharing sound and also sharing sound yourself, and also both of them, when you are able to receive sound while also giving sound, such as when you're in a group or even with at least one other person or something of this nature. So that is definitely one of the things that I'm being guided towards, encouraging anyone who's receptive and feeling in resonation with the call to allow sound, unregistered, unlabeled, unidentifiable sound to flow through you, and not necessarily putting any descriptions on it, not necessarily needing a description or a definition to the words that are coming out, or if any words even are coming out, just allowing sounds to come out. That's one of the ways that I feel as if we can understand sound the deepest and receive the deepest benefits from it and the deepest wisdom and healing from it, is by just being it. You know, like Brad said from the beginning, being tones.
Instant opportunity for us to fulfill those words right there. On the count of 3, make the weirdest noise that comes to your mind. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it sounded like I was like ringing something out, and like you were like throwing up, like you were, you were ringing out throw up. That's an amazing sentence that came from that, yo.
Actually, music to me is sound in time.
That's what music is. That's the best definition of it. Sound and time.
Yeah.
Time is like
Paint it with a rhythm, and then you have a beat.
Yeah, because the sound, the raw sound itself is like the feminine flow, and then the time is like the masculine structure behind it. So music is really like, you know, the structure and the flow. That's all it is. It's like, it's just flow that has some type of like time, which is masculine, mental, like having some type of structure to it. But the music is the balance between both. If you just have structure, that's not really grooving, you know, that's just a metronome. But if you have just flow, you know, that's also like, you know, not completely grooving, because it's like it has more that could be built upon it, you know what I mean? So like both of them are good on their own, but they find their fullest potential expression in harmony with one another when you're able to balance the structure of time with the flow of sound. So my brother, thank you ineffably thank you for your time and your energy and your love and your words and your presence and your beingness, for sharing your gifts with the world, for sharing your presence. It is truly received so deeply, and I know that I'm grateful, and I feel deeply that I can speak on behalf of many, if not all, of those watching as well, that are ineffably grateful that you hopped on here today to share your gift of expression with us all, and to
Thank you, brother.
inspire the light within all of us.
I'll do whatever it takes to anchor it.
Oof, absolutely. Whatever it takes, brother. Whatever it takes, you already know. That's what we're here to do. That's the mission, and we don't accept failure. Failure isn't even in the timeline that we are looking at. It's not a question.
I know that all I have to do is express myself to express myself.
Exactly. Like you were saying, it's that primary intention. That primary intention. I'm expressing myself to express myself. And then after that, people get healed and are benefited from it. But at the end of the day, all we're really focused on is doing what we do for us. And then as a byproduct, it emanates onto helping and uplifting others.
Yes.
Potent, brother.
Potent.
Thank you so much for this episode, my friend. You got any parting words for the people?
Every feeling that we have within the body is just us listening. It comes from us listening. Because we can listen with our eyes, we can listen with our touch, we can listen with our ability to hear music, and we can listen to ourselves. This is a feeling world, and embrace the feeling and listen to what the song is that's caused by the feeling. And feel guided. And then sing your song. Caringly. And listen to other people's songs. Because we can't just sing our song all the time. We gotta listen to other people's songs. Because we might be able to learn something from their songs. How to make our song a little bit brighter. Bass. My friend Andre Ruddock, said to me one time that the space between the lyrics can be just as powerful as the lyrics themselves.
They both give each other meaning and importance. It's the space between the lyrics that give the lyrics importance, and likewise, it's the lyrics that give the space between them the importance. They are codependent upon one another, and they need one another to thrive and exist. And to even have an existence to be defined is to be compared by one another. It's a potent perspective. It's a potent perspective, brother. Thank you for those parting words. I'm just gonna let them sink in. Just gonna let them sink in with myself, with everyone receiving. Thank you all for joining us on this incredible journey through sound, through flow, through intellect, through spirit, through heart, through vibration, through source. We are here flowing in the states of consciousness that our future generations will know as their natural state of being. Thank you, my brother, for being with us once again. Thank you all for joining us upon this journey, and may Source be with you all.
I love you, man.
I love you too, man. I love you too, brother. Talk soon.